Hola mi gente, Majesty aquí, bienvenidos de nuevo.
She not a hater, but she do not fuck with me, move to the left. Yeah, I like the top when I ride, I told my nigga to slide. He told them just get up when I pull up. My daddy, he know me, that's right.
I'm here to tell you today that if you want to learn a new language, just do it. Like, what are you waiting for? It's so much pros and so little cons. Like, it's so fulfilling, and I'm not even gonna cap to you. If you're going through something, if you're feeling down, if you're trying to take your mind off things, just learn a new language. It takes your mind, like, you're so focused on studying and remembering and practicing what you've learned that you don't even remember what's really going on around you. It's just, I don't know, it's like a new coping mechanism for me personally, and I also really enjoy it. I never thought that I would enjoy learning Spanish. So like, if it's any language that you want to do, like, start today. Stop procrastinating. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just give you the tips on just stuff that you need to do when you're learning a language, so you don't have to go and figure it out. You're getting the info right here. So let's get into the video. My first tip for you would be, necesitas un libro. You need one. Like, you can't sit here and tell me, oh, I just take notes in my head, or I just write it in my phone. Get one of these. It's literally the purpose of a book is to take notes. Well, this my notes. They're in there. They're in there. Don't worry about me. But either way, don't be like me. When I first started out, I was taking notes in my phone. One, because I didn't have a book yet, which is okay. I was gonna get the book, but it's just not logical. Like, you need a space where it's just, Spanish. Like, you can't just take notes to your phone and just hope for the best. Like, you're not gonna, it's just, you need a book. Like, don't question me. You need a book. Like, get the book and then come back to this video. Because if you're not getting the book, then what are you doing? Next step, you need Quizlet. I don't know how it is in other countries, which I use, but I'm pretty sure, Quizlet might be accessible to most other countries. If not, there are other apps that are like it, or you could just use your notebook and just make like a column, one side for Spanish, one side for English, and do your best to memorize. But you need to do spaced repetition. Like, that is so important. Like, Quizlet, it helps you to like write the words, like the words or phrases that you've learned. Like, even though you're taking notes in your notebook, you write down the words and the phrases that you've learned, and then you write down the English the English translation or the Spanish translation to it, and then you study however you feel comfortable. And you have to do that every single day. If you don't do that every single day, like, you're gonna forget. Because my biggest mistake was telling myself, so I think I know it now, so like I don't have to study anymore. Wrong. I forgot what saber means. Like, I was so disappointed in myself. I was so like, I never did that. I never did that again. I never did it again because I did better. Like, you need to do spaced repetition or you just won't learn correctly. Like, I mean, it probably doesn't go for everyone, but it's very important. I'm gonna get into what you should be putting into your Quizlets. When I'm just gonna speak for Spanish, I'm not sure how it is for other languages, but when you're learning Spanish, you can't just be learning one word at a time. Oh, let me study what un is. Like, you can, but it's not the most effective way. Like, I'm here to tell you that you need to learn in phrases. You need to know the whole phrase so that you have context, so you're able to remember. So if somebody says to you, yo necesito un perro y gato, and you don't know what necesito is, and you don't know what gato is, and you could search the word necesito, and it's like, I need, and then you look at the word un perro y gato, and you're able to say, if perro means dog, e means an, what is gato? It must be another animal. You know what I mean? You're just able to put the pieces together better, and it gets stuck in your memory. And you're also able to apply that to new sentences that you've learned. And you could be like, oh my God, I already learned what yo necesito means, or necesito means, like, you already learned that. Now I know what it means. And you can now apply that to your learning skills, and you've learned something new and you remember it. But if you learn one word at a time, you're learning, oh, necesito, pero, y gato. Or you're like, it's just slow and there's no context to the word. So if one day you're like, what does pero mean again? You're like, there was no context to begin with, so it's gonna be harder to remember what it is. So when you're putting the words into Quizlet, put it in a phrase so you have better understanding, and it's also usable. Like, you could go to your friend who speaks Spanish and you could have a conversation and be like, amigo, necesito un perro y gato, and you could just talk. You know what I mean? You're able to use the phrase. You're not gonna be like, hola, un perro. Like, you just use phrases. Next tip. Now for this tip, it's gonna be quick and short, but you need learning apps like Duolingo, Conjugato, Busuu. You just need to download Spanish learning apps as much as possible, and always click beginner, because you're always learning. Don't try to speed ahead on things. You always can learn something new. And with these apps, if you're not able to study and write in your notebook, you're able to just go on Duo and just learn something real quick, or go back on something that you've learned before to study. But you always need to keep up with it constantly. It's no stopping. Once you start, you can't stop. Next tip. These next two tips are so important, but you need to do one of two things always: speak with natives and talk to yourself. And I know it sounds crazy, but you have to talk to yourself. Even if you look at yourself as crazy, that's fine. You're learning. But if you're not speaking to natives, you don't know what you're saying wrong, or if you're saying it right, or how they speak. You're not able to confidently have a conversation. Speaking to a native, natives actually, it built my confidence so much when speaking Spanish. You have apps that you could download to talk to them, and talking to yourself, have little conversations in your head, create little scenarios like, hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, amigo. Just create like the scenarios in your head about what they would say, what you would say, which you wouldn't really know what they're gonna say, but it helps you in the long run to try to build your confidence in speaking the language, and also just learning and remembering and just knowing what to say. So that's a great tip that I've learned, and it helped me so much. Next tip, last but not least, you have to think in the language, you have to watch a lot of it, and you have to be very consistent. Like, you can't miss a day. If you miss a day, that's on you, and you're just leading yourself down a path to keep missing days. Like, be strict with yourself. Consistency, I would say, is the most important thing of all when it comes to learning the language, because it will get you farther than any other tip that I've listed, just because you're being consistent and you're doing it and doing it and doing it and not stopping. Like I said, when you can't study to write in your notebook, use the Duolingo app or a learning app to keep you updated, to keep you remembering. You know what I mean? So you also have to watch a lot of it, because if you're not listening to what people are actually saying in their conversations, how they're speaking, how they're pronouncing it, and you're not trying to think in Spanish, you're not trying to force your brain to remember, when you have that little voice in your head that, you think with, well, some people have it, but you try to do it, but in Spanish or in French or whatever language you're learning, and it's really so helpful. And really emphasis on the think in Spanish and the consistency part, because you will not improve if you're not trying to push yourself. Like, you need to not miss no days. You need to always be studying. Well, I'm really hard on myself, so I'm always studying. I'm always trying to talk it. Whenever my friends are trying to talk to me, I'm talking Spanish to them. You know, do things that help you to improve, and always push yourself and stay consistent, and always write in phrases so you're able to use those in your day-to-day life. And that's for all the tips. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay consistent, leave a like and subscribe. Tune in next Wednesday for my next video. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Bling on my body too icy, but I ain't so warm. Don't understand why these bitches don't like me, but I'ma keep calm. He counting my money while wearing a shiesty. My money retarded.